When we think of Hitler in the war, people generally think of Hitler at the Eagle's Nest, Eva Braun's home movies, or they think of him perhaps in the bunker in Berlin. But in reality, he spent over 800 days at the Wolf's Lair. It was by far the most used of all his headquarters. This is his actual bunker, and it really looks like kind of an Aztec pyramid or some Egyptian structure from ancient times. It's just so monumentally huge, gigantic.
At the heart of Hitler's bunker is a tiny bedroom where the Führer sleeps. Around it is a warren of offices and walkways. A concrete roof more than 7 meters thick encases the building. A layer of gravel protects the bunker from bomb blasts, while thick steel doors seal it from chemical attacks. Built like an Egyptian tomb, Hitler's bunker is nearly indestructible.
No windows. The ventilation and the oxygen had to be brought in by a whole ventilation system. The thickness of the walls, the dankness of it, made it just such a grim and miserable place to be. It really is reflective of Hitler's mentality, of his paranoia.
Being impenetrable is not enough for a paranoid Hitler. He wants the site to be invisible. So workers fill the roof with tons of soil and plant it with shrubs and trees. They drape the concrete shell in camouflage netting to disguise the walkways around it. The site blends seamlessly into the forest.
Hitler is most definitely one of the most evil individuals to ever walk the face of the earth. And it just blows my mind that, history is loaded with all kinds of just twisted, sick, evil things that happened. But the power and the countries that Hitler was able to take over and the followers and just his whole reign just is so disturbing and scary to me. For real. And you heard about this place, the Wolf's Lair, in Poland, in the middle of desolate woods, I guess, which I believe Poland was the first place that the Nazis and Hitler took over in their quest to take over the world. Thank God that was stopped. But this place, the Wolf's Lair, I guess, was a spot where he was hiding out for a long period of time. At a certain point, I guess they said for a few years. And this guy, Hermann Göring, who from all description sounds like he was Hitler's right-hand man or heir to his throne. As you see the different pictures with him together, I guess he was like his second in command. This Wolf Lair is described as his house, and it's so disturbing to me that Nazis and stuff like that, Hitler has become, I didn't know this, comment if you knew, that it was like big in tourism, that a lot of people go to see these sites. And this Hermann Göring guy, back in 2016, there was a gun of his that was found. Somehow it was still out there somewhere, and people were trying to buy this up to $400,000. I don't know what the end result ended up being, who bought it, how much they paid for it. But the point that I'm pointing out is people go to these places and pay a lot of money to see these places. They pay for this gun stuff like memorabilia. It's all so twisted and disturbing. History is history. Just like life, everything that happens, like documented history, there's stuff to, like, people need to know the real about what happened. And I guess there's things to learn from stuff, to see the pure evil that can happen, if the wrong person is in power. But I'm just so shocked that people pay money and are intrigued in the stuff in that kind of way. I don't know, comment everyone out there and let me know what you guys feel about all this. But just recently, the other day, this is ongoing kind of breaking news. Archaeologists went digging up underneath of this Wolf's Lair place, found next to, like, originally they thought they were just digging up what used to be a bathroom, and, you know, because there was like sewage pipes and stuff like that. And they found the remains of 5 human beings with no hands or feet. 3 of them were adults. 1 was a teenager and 1 was a child, a newborn baby. It's so sad. And now with this discovery, this grim discovery from these archaeologists, there's like an investigation being opened up to try to figure out who these bodies belong to. Why were they buried there underneath this fortress? As this was like you guys heard everything about this Wolf's Lair place. It was like a top secret headquarters that was supposed to be invisible and built like a tomb and with able to stand explosives and stuff like that, just high security. So who was killed there and why were they buried there? That's this big mystery that is the question now out there in Poland. And everyone comment and share your thoughts. Hitler, the Nazis and whatnot have never been something that I was ever really intrigued to know about. Back when I was a kid, a survivor of the Holocaust came and spoke at my school. And, you know, he shared the story of how he escaped and what he had to do to escape and, you know, how he got to America. And it was pretty wild. I remember a few years back when thinking about this guy, I believe I looked him up and he was still alive, which was shocking to me because he was an older dude back then in the 90s. But this is just absolutely pure horror and evil. You know, to hear a firsthand account of this stuff, for real. And it always bothered me that the U.S., you know, everyone knows, I'm sure, about Operation Paperclip, I believe it was called, where the United States took a lot of former Nazis and had them work for the U.S. I mean, I understand intel and everything like that, trying to get information from people like, you know, intelligence and all that, you know, when people are captured or whatever, you know, not the exact same as a crime case where if there's co-defendants, they try to get people to flip on people or, you know, to just give up info. I mean, I understand all that. Demons were responsible for just horrific things, and to give them a new life and freedom and allow them to work, that they wanted to get that out of the Nazis. But these evil demons were responsible for just horrific things, and to give them a new life and freedom and allow them to work for the US of A. Just, I don't know, that never really sat well with me. Share your thoughts and your thoughts about this all. You know, there's a lot of people that believe, you know, Hitler escaped, as well as a lot of other Nazis, and I believe went to Argentina or something like that. I don't know. You know, it's just a very evil era in history, and just always crazy, like I said in the beginning of this, to believe or to know that this happened and went on for so long before this guy was stopped. Something else I found also while researching a little bit about this, again, this is not typically stuff that I follow, but this was just shocking to me. Again, 5 skeletons, no hands and feet, 3 adults, a teenager and a newborn baby found underneath this Nazi fortress. All these years later in 2024, this Hermann Göring, or however you say his name, that was like Hitler's second in command. There's a lot of documentation that he was a heavy morphine addict. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard how Hitler was all geeked up on amphetamines and meth. And it's just kind of an example, or not kind of, it's a huge example of crazy people taking drugs and the crazy evil mind state that it gives them. And, you know, I remember some years back finding out more about Hitler and Nazis, that amphetamines and meth were around, and these evil scientists that were working for him. And, you know, when you see the footage of this evil individual and you hear about the meth, like, it's not hard to put it all together. And, like, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I found that information, I was like, man, looking back at this, this demon, the way he was all charged up all the time when giving those speeches and stuff like that, and the footage that is out there. That, again, I'm not big on tapping into this stuff very much, like it's a bunch of evil, and they all should have died and been put to death or locked away forever. I know they had the Nuremberg trials, but a lot of these evil demons did escape consequences. But at the same time, as I stated, this stuff really happened, and people should know about it, as well as other evil events in history, or comment with your thoughts. Everyone out there, do you think that evil should be something that should be spoke back on often, or should it be something that should just disintegrate into the abyss? As there's all kinds of evil individuals out there and evil, messed up things that happened throughout the history of mankind. But it just wasn't any shock to me at all that these individuals were out there doing all these drugs, just crazed, psychotic, evil, drug abusing demons. And again, here we are, 2024, and this Nazi murder mystery has been unearthed by these archaeologists. Everyone, once again, let me know your thoughts. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like the video for me, so we can get this out there for more people to, give their take and their opinion on, as that's what it's all about over here, is hearing everyone's thoughts, take, and opinion on typically I do true crime and crime news and stuff like that over here. Something I forgot to add, though, is that movie, what is it, Operation Valkyrie or Project Valkyrie or something like that, where it was an assassination attempt on Hitler that was covered in a movie. This Wolf's Lair place, this demonic fortress in the woods, is the site of where that happened. Again, here we are all these years later in 2024, and things are still being discovered from this reign of terror that the evil Hitler and his group committed. There's still more stuff being discovered. It's all so mind-blowing. But comment across the board your thoughts on everything we touched on in this video. And before I close it out, again, I really hate to hear that people are paying money, like big money, to see this stuff or to buy this memorabilia. I just don't understand why anyone would want something like that. Like I said, this Herman Goring guy's gun was like, people were bidding up to $400,000 on this thing back in 2016. It's crazy, man. I remember not too long ago on a Joe Rogan podcast, I forget who exactly it was, but someone who I guess has, like, a journalist who has done in-depth stuff about the Nazis and Hitler and trying to uncover the real truth. As I stated, there's all that tricky stuff and deception where the United States ended up taking in some of these Nazis. But they were talking about, I think it was Germany where they went. And again, the site of this this demonic fortress, is in Poland. But this journalist that I was speaking about, who was on Joe Rogan, I believe it was a female, comment if you guys know who I'm talking about, was saying when they went over to Germany and brought back some kind of documents or something like that, that they actually had to smuggle it back because it's all illegal over there in Germany. You know what I mean? And then you got people that are paying all this money. Like, who's doing that? Is it the ancestors of the Nazis or something? You know what I mean? Like, once again, who wants that stuff, and who wants to pay so much money to own and possess such just evil stuff, man? It's crazy. But that's all I got on this one. 2024, this Nazi murder mystery has been discovered. Share your thoughts. Stay tuned for updates. Subscribe to the channel. Peace.